SmackDown Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes from the previous episode of SmackDown, Raw, and or PLEs. And next weekend, we got a lot of hot takes with Saturday Night's Main Event and Evolution 2. And if you stick around, people of this channel know that me and Goldberg, I'm not a fan. But if you stick around all the way to the end, I'm gonna say the most positive thing I've ever said about the dude. So stick around. All right, hot takes. Oh man, I might regret it. Oh man, just. Okay, let's do this. We got Tiz Mickey. She says, honestly, SmackDown needs help. I don't know what needs to happen, but it needs help. 2 hours was just a start. Yes, they went to 2 hours yesterday. Happy they went to 2 hours yesterday, but it still was very lacking of luster. And she goes on to say, and LOL, I love Trish Stratus, and I'm glad to see her, but if that's the best opponent Tiffany could get, that says a lot about the women's division on SmackDown. It says a lot about the writing, actually, because if you think about it, you've got Charlotte, you've got Alexa Bliss, you've got Chelsea Green, you've got Jade Cargill, you've got Naomi, you've got Julia, and you are bringing back Trish Stratus for your championship match at the all-women pay-per-view, PLE. I know a lot of people love Trish Stratus, and I might get some hate for this, but like, I honestly don't feel she deserves this, because it goes back to the same dilemma I have with Goldberg. Yes, I hate Goldberg as a wrestler, like loathe him. However, my beef with Goldberg getting a title shot against Gunther, it really doesn't have to do with anything that I personally feel for Goldberg. It has to do with the fact that he does not deserve it. Trish Stratus does not deserve this title shot. Now, if they want to just do Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton, I'm totally cool with that. Totally cool with that if there was not a title on the line. I would love for Trish to be able to experience this, because unlike Goldberg, Trish has given a lot back to the business. I would love for Trish to experience a full-on women's PLE, because she fought super hard for the women to get respect, especially after the Attitude Era. The Attitude Era dismantled women's wrestling, and Trish was one of the pioneers that brought it back with Lita well before the women's revolution. And so, like, I'm very happy that Trish gets to experience the fruits of her labor, but not against the champion. I'm sorry, but not against the champion. Let's read some more. Anthony Smartworth, Stratton desperately needs to turn heel. That actually would save this segment. Okay, if Tiffany had turned heel and then she said, I'm going to pull an old-timer, because they did give her the ability to pick her own opponent, which is kind of ridiculous in of itself. It's like, why are they picking their own opponents? Why did Jade Cargill go and win and fight so hard for the Queen of the Ring if all it's going to take is for Tiffany to say, you know what? You, over there, I'll pick you. Rhea Ripley didn't even qualify for Queen of the Ring, and Io Sky picks her. Why doesn't Asuka get the title match against Io Sky? She was runner-up, but no, the person who doesn't qualify gets the pick, and Tiffany Stratton just jumps over the Queen of the Ring in order to pick someone who has one match in 2025 and is retired. She had a retirement match. She's retired. It's like, that makes no sense. However, if Tiffany had turned heel, and then she was like, ooh, I don't want to lose my championship, I'm just going to pick somebody I know I can beat, I picked Tiffany Stratton, then that would actually at least make sense. I would still disagree with it from a storyline perspective. A heel Tiffany picking a vulnerable legend from the past, that would at least make sense within the kayfabe of the WWE Universe. Atif Masood says, excited about the Trish match. This could be a nice program for Tiffany for after she loses the belt to Naomi. Expecting Trish is back for longer than just one match at Evolution. Yeah, you know what? I would totally be okay with a Trish and Tiffany matchup after. The key word is after, though. After she loses the belt to Naomi or Jade or whoever. But I'm not excited for the match before, while the title is on the line. It doesn't make sense storyline wise, and it's not cool to everybody who's there. Week in, week out. It's like you don't get to just return for a top spot. You can return for a marquee match, but not for the title. I just so much disagree with that. And I would love for them to continue their feud after, when there's no title on the line. I hope people understand this, because a lot of people are going to just probably hear, oh, he hates women wrestling. That's not what No. I'm going to treat women's wrestling like I would treat male wrestling, with logic. And I'm going to apply it. And then I'm going to get mad when logic is not applied. Abel7696, the S word you were looking for is Stratus faction. Stratton versus Stratus is a passing of the torch moment. Charlotte versus Stratton wasn't. Charlotte isn't the old guard. Charlotte is still current. Okay, so I think this is in reference to my one take one shot. I was kind of like complaining about this whole segment and saying that, oh, there was some S word that I'm like looking for. So this person right here, Abel, you know what? You are more than welcome to your opinion. I'm glad we can have a difference of opinions. I'm glad we can communicate with one another. Thank you for sharing this, but I still don't agree with it at all. Fine. Pass the torch. Pass the torch at SummerSlam. Don't pass the torch right now when you have the championship. Because unless Tiffany loses the belt before Evolution, but at this point the damage is done because the match would have happened. Literally, you can pass the torch. Pass the torch, but not during an actual title match. When Hogan passed the torch to The Rock, there was no title on the line. But even that would have been okay. You know why? Because Hogan was an active wrestler before and after that program at WrestleMania 18. Trish has not been an active wrestler. If Trish had fought for the title during that year when she was feuding with Becky Lynch, that would have been okay. You know why? Because throughout that entire year, Becky and Trish were feuding. They were fighting. Trish was consistently there. Therefore, Trish was an active member of the roster. Yeah, she came out of retirement. Who cares? A lot of people come out of retirement, but she was an active member of the roster. Therefore, I'd be totally okay with her winning a title during that period of time. But when she stopped and went back to very few and far between matches, that's what I have a problem with. I just have a problem with that Trish is getting a title match. I don't like that Goldberg is getting a title match against Gunther. I don't like that Trish is getting a title match against Tiffany. I don't get on board with that whatsoever. And it's literally just because of how I view the titles. I don't like when the championship comes out first. I always feel that whoever holds the championship should be the last to come out. You are the champion. They wait for you. Not the other way around. The champion doesn't wait for their opponent. And the challenger should always be someone who has been in the mix. You know what? Yeah, Tiffany Stratton versus Trish Stratus is a great dream match. All right, for some people, but it's not a great dream championship match unless, if you wanted to do Trish Stratus enters the women's battle royal at Evolution, so she gets her Evolution moment, and then she wins the women's battle royal, and then, because that stipulation then says you get a match at at Paris for the title, I would be okay with that, because then we have Trish, who is now just coming in and wrestling matches, plus it is a stipulation in which she gets a title shot. So storyline-wise then, she is winning a match that allows for a title shot, not just, you know what, I'm going to eeny, meeny, miny, mo you. You fight me now at the Women's Evolution. In fact, why is the Women's Evolution pay-per-view, PLE, not have better storylines by now anyways? That's a whole nother bag of worms. In fact, if you want, I feel that even though here I am saying Trish doesn't deserve a women's title match, and a lot of people probably think I'm being disrespectful disrespectful to women's wrestling, but I actually think WWE has been disrespectful to women's wrestling with their treatment of Evolution 2. And if you want to see a video on that, let me know. I'm really considering doing a video maybe as early as tomorrow or maybe on Thursday about how, like, this is a joke. This is a joke and very disrespectful how they treated this whole PLE. Can you imagine just 1 week to go and we're just now getting our main events? Yeah, that is not cool. And maybe it's a sign of the times, because even SummerSlam is being booked barely. It's barely booked. It's like, what, a little over a month away? It's just like, oh my gosh. Well, whatever. You know what? Let's book this championship. If WWE won't book their championships right, then WrestleChop will. And, just like Tiffany Stratton, I'm going to pick someone at random to win this title. All you got to do to win is comment below. You got to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, ding, 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 notification. I would greatly appreciate it. The thumb would greatly appreciate it. The thumb is not talking because SmackDown, he did not approve of SmackDown last night, so the thumb's just not talking. So give a thumbs up if you would. I would appreciate it. Try to quit the day job, produce wrestling content full-time. I'll give away this belt. Not a toy in the process. Help me out. Help me get to 20,000 subscribers, because that's what I'm going to pull. All right, so let's get into some other hot takes. Boomer Leo says Drew McIntyre sold his soul to The Rock. I don't think so. If he did, he would be in a better spot. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I apologize, but so they wasted Drew McIntyre's return again. Emoji. It definitely could have been more impactful. I don't know if wasted. I think Donatello Leonardo said that he's happy that that Drew has instantly been inserted into the main event, as opposed to before, like when he left, he was kind of hovering in the mid-card, fighting for the U.S. title and fighting Damian Priest. But so I would say could be worse. At least he's got a Randy Orton match at Saturday's main event and already threatening Cody for the title if he wins. Super Titan, they need to bring back the Beat the Clock sprint. I love the Beat the Clock. Beat the Clock was so cool. If you don't know what that was, it would be like, okay, if you want a title match against so and so, we're gonna have 4 people in a Beat the Clock challenge, and all those 4 people would have to fight someone on the card, usually lower than them, and whoever beat their opponent the fastest would actually get the title shot. And sometimes you would even get an upset in the Beat the Clock challenge, and this like lower card guy would beat a higher card guy. It was it was fun, and a good way to do a thread throughout the show. So I agree 100%. Dr. Slice, all BS sewage segments. I'm thinking they're talking about SmackDown and didn't really like it. I gave SmackDown 4 out of 10 chops, one of my lowest ever. But I don't think they were like garbage segments. I just felt they were like boring segments. If I don't recommend SmackDown to anybody, that has to be a 4. Instant 4. But it wasn't like, other than the whole Trish thing, I wasn't like hating anything. I didn't like that Solo took the pin, but I mean, it was like, just a very, like, yawn-inducive. 11 yawns in 2 hours. 11 yawns, 2 hours, and 9 commercial breaks. TTJC, I want to see Legado defend the titles against Andrade and Phoenix to a Triple A event or Saturday's main event. I also hope Alexa and Charlotte turn on each other at Evolve so Raquel keeps her title. I could definitely see that. Although I'm kind of liking Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of liking it. It's giving Charlotte some, I don't know, she hugged Alexa Bliss. It was really awkward too. Like, I don't know if Charlotte knows how to act like a human. I know she knows how to act like a queen, but not a peasant, and that hug was just super awkward. But maybe that was the case because, she's not used to having good feelings. But I'm kind of digging them together right now, so I wouldn't mind if they stay together just a little longer. But if they do turn, at least we got a marquee match at SummerSlam. And the thing about Legado having the titles, I don't want to fall into the AEW trap of like how Ring of Honor or New Japan, their titles are just everywhere. I don't want too many titles on WWE. They've already got a lot of titles. So like if they go and defend the title on AAA, totally cool. But Saturday's main event, I don't know. I'm not seeing eye to eye on that one. It wouldn't ruin anything for me. I just would rather it not. It's OTW. So someone on the writing team thought that having two singles guys beat an established up-and-coming tag team was a good idea. And dang, Naomi, dial it back with the caution tape, would ya? I actually like Naomi and her caution tape. Sometimes it's like all over her body, and sometimes it's barely there. I think it's hilarious. It's like the more caution tape there is, the more unhinged Naomi you're gonna get. But you know what? With the tag team thing, yeah, that's valid. It's like, why is suddenly Andrade and Phoenix a thing? That said, their matches are bangers. They are good together. They are really good together. And to be honest, you could say the same thing about Alexa and Charlotte beating the Secret Hervis, because the Secret Hervis, they seem to be the most tag team of all the women tag teams. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. Nagaverse. Tungaloa has so much aura, but the new faction with negative 1,000 aura is subtracted and resulted in 0 aura. Total 0 aura faction. Love the Steiner math there. We got, you know what, oh man. It does kind of like, it's kind of weird. Solo Sikoa has like, he was doing a lot of really good personality, just like really must-see TV stuff, and I didn't really see it from Solo yesterday. I saw that old Mafia Don that wasn't very interesting. Really, it wasn't really interesting. And this faction, like, I felt it should have got a big win, you know? Factions, like, I get it. They're trying to keep Jacob Fatu strong, but Jacob, I think it would be better for him chasing the belt in a way that he is the underdog, and he literally just pinned Solo Sikoa, the U.S. champion, on Independence Day, no less. It's like, dude, like, what are we doing here? Like, I get it. Keep Jacob strong, but there's like 4 dudes over here, and they just formed. But that said, the lasting image of SmackDown is Jacob Fatu getting beat up, so I don't know. It's kind of like, it's not exactly 50-50 booking, but it's kind of like it, and I'm not a big fan of that. I think Jimmy could have taken the pin, maybe, or, like, what about JC Mateo? I hate that name, but, like, why was he in the match if they were going to make the champion get pinned? Malcolm Bowens, Karrion Kross would have been the perfect opponent for Randy Orton. Him being on SmackDown and wanting to bring back the Legend Killer out of Orton is perfect. Yeah, that, honestly, when Drew was saying all that stuff, it definitely reminded me of Karrion Kross. Now, I will say, I believe Drew's been doing this for a while now. Drew did this to CM Punk and Seth Rollins, actually, so I don't think it's necessarily stealing Karrion Kross's gimmick, but this idea of whispering evil deeds has definitely been associated with Karrion Kross now, to the point where even though Randy has done it before, when Randy was doing it, I was thinking Karrion Kross, so we do got to tread lightly there. And it would have been sweet, though. Could you imagine how cool it would have been if that had been Karrion Kross? I love Drew McIntyre. He's my favorite, but I would have loved for Karrion to have been mixing it up with that main event talent right there. Usi Sensei, you can tell that some segments felt rushed now that WWE is back to 2 hours, but tonight's show showed how stacked the tag team division is without genuine star power. Yeah, the tag team division was all over the place. I did find myself actually enjoying the 8-man matchup as well, so there was points that felt rushed, but that's okay. It's like, I definitely would rather have the rushness of what happened yesterday than the long drawn outness of the 3-hour SmackDown. Donatello Leonardo says, love that WWE isn't having Drew stay in the mid-card scene, and love to see him right there with Cody, Randy, where he belongs. I think this show would have benefited from having another segment with them towards the end of the show, as the tag matches became really repetitive as the night went on. Yeah, there was only tag matches, actually. This was a very Teddy Long booked SmackDown. You gotta have a tag team match, playa! But yeah, like, more segments. I don't understand why Cody Rhodes, he's the man, and we only see him one time. Maybe if we're lucky, we get a 30-second, he's walking down the hall and interacts with somebody for a second. But, yeah, we need more segments with these, with our main event talent. Raphael Adair, the Scottish Crash Out, is back, and awesome as ever. He called out the Codelanders mind games and the 5D chess moves before Night of Champions, and he sold that RKO like a boss. Plus, he had the funniest, this made the show for me, because you have Randy I respect you, and Cody oh, I love you too, and then Drew comes out, you hang up, no, you hang up, no, you hang up, and two lovebirds, at the beginning of a relationship. That was so funny. Number 2, Solo is menacing with that promo, but Talatunga, that name ruined the promo for me. The tag match was good. Jimmy and Jacob surprised me with their chemistry. Yeah, Talatunga, could be a little more creative, really more creative. And, yeah, Jake and Jimmy, yeah, okay. I think that Solo should have won, though. I do think that Solo should have won. He just formed his faction. 3, the SmackDown Tag Team Division is officially show stealers of pro wrestling. Individually, they are worthy champions, but them together as a new wrestling brands, they will dog walk the ratings. Yeah, they are. They are. The SmackDown Tag Team Division is almost like the cruiserweights back in WCW days, just their own little universe, and just going crazy at each other, just swapping victories and losses. Goat Buggy, I really hope Naomi doesn't lose all her matches just because she has the money in the bank, because nobody is going to believe that she can keep the title for long. Yeah, oh God, I hate when they do that. Oh, well, you can afford to lose your matches because you're going to become the women's champion. No, I don't buy that. I hate that. The person who becomes women's champion should look strong. So, she's 100% going to lose to Jade Cargill right here, because I bet, because they're about to have a match at Evolution, I bet then that Jade wins at SummerSlam, and then Naomi beats her, and that's their justification. And that's not that bad, actually, for this situation, but I don't want to see Naomi just losing to everybody else. The only other person that I could see Naomi losing to right now would be Bianca Belair, but, we need to treat Naomi like she's pretty much, the next uncrowned women's champion, and she needs to look strong, because I don't care if she's a heel and even wants to be a cowardly heel, but when it comes to the actual matches, she needs to look strong and she needs to have victories. If they're gonna make her lose to Jade at Evolution 2, then that's it. That's the last loss she should suffer. Goat Buggy also says, I think this era of WWE should be called the respect era, because almost no wrestlers in WWE hate each other anymore. Yeah, I mean, really, they don't. Wrestling is such a simple story to tell. One guy's good, one guy's bad. That's pretty much it. You let the bad guy get the upper hand on the good guy for 3 weeks, and then the good guy wins the match, and then you run it back again. And if the program is going to be 3 months, then the bad guy needs to win the first match. Oh my gosh, it's like Randy and Cody. I love you, I respect you. Then Tiffany, Jade, and Trish, yeah, I respect you all, but I'm going to win. No, I respect you all, but I'm going to win. Hey, I just respect all of women's wrestling, but I'm going to win. Naomi had a 30-second segment where she just beat up Jade Cargill, hit her with the briefcase. That 30 seconds was better than the whole first half of the Cody Orton before Drew McIntyre got there promo, and the entire Trish Tiffany Jade segment, because there was heat. There was heat between Jade and Naomi. Just heat. That's all you need. Jimbo Sliced, I gotta be real, I'm very quickly coming off the Jacob Fatu train with all these repetitive promos. He has so much energy and power, but when he speaks, he says nothing. Hot take, Jey Uso is a better promo than Jacob Fatu. You probably had a lot of people until you said that. You dare praise Jey Uso? Jey Uso is a better promo than Jacob Fatu, because at least Jey says something original between his yeets. I can't tell you a single good promo, because they're all the same of Jacob Fatu's. All yap, no creativity. Fatu! Oh man, I wish I could think of Like, yeah, the best promo he gave was before Saturday Night's Main Event when he was like, people say you're Godzilla or King Kong. Well, I'm both. But even that promo was from his days back in, I forget the promotion he was in, but from his indie days. Yeah, he spams his catchphrases way too much. If he has 30 seconds or 2 minutes, he's going to get every catchphrase in. So, yes, Jacob Fatu, please, we love you, man. You are so great, but you are the spamming of the catchphrases. You're in WWE now. Get in where you fit in. You know what I mean? Sky, Wonder Wolf. We got Drew speaking facts, especially to Randy. He needs to get back to being the legend killer. Stop kissing Cody's butt like everyone else. From watching Randy when he first started, I would have never pictured seeing Randy the Legend Killer becoming a butt kisser, but that's 2025 Randy. I mean, you do grow as a person. I know there's certain things that I used to do in my youth that you'd be like if I told you guys and Gail some stories about me, I think you might not believe them. I really would, because like I was a totally different person once upon a time. That said, Randy being Cody's butt kisser, that's getting old. There's been at least 2 now, but I'm thinking 3 or 4 promos where Randy has literally come out just to say how great Cody is. I'm sorry, but like, no more. Jasper Van Schill says, I kind of slept through today's SmackDown, and I'm glad I could watch it in the morning and skip the boring parts. He watched about 8 minutes of that last night's SmackDown then if he skipped all the boring parts. No, the tag matches were good. I mean, like, and he does mention that Wade Barrett had a killer line about how every person in the 8-man tag team thought they were the leader because Montez Ford, he was the champion. Lagaza, they were the champion. The Motor City Machine Guns, they were the veterans. And Johnny Gargano, well... He's Johnny Gargano, so Wade Barrett's a gem. Comment of Doom, not enough tag team matches for my liking. I thought the Blue Brand was supposed to be all about tag team wrestling. This is 100% sarcastic in that there wasn't even one singles match. But they were good though, to be fair. That is a hilarious statement. Donatello Leonardo says the WWE title's way protected, overprotected. In August, it'll be 5 years since Roman won it first in 2020. We've only had 3 champions total since then. Yeah, it's crazy that they do this. Like, we live in a TikTok attention span generation, and this is like only 3 championships. I do like strong and healthy long reigns, but you know, we can switch it up. You even mentioned that like Austin's longest babyface title run was 91 days. Chasing that title is way more interesting than not. I guess I don't mind John Cena holding a long title. I like when the villains have a long title reign, but I like when the champions have to chase it. Cody would have been way more interesting if he had lost that title one time during that long 1-year reign of his. Southpaw Jimmy, the main event scene needs to be expanded. It's the same people fighting the same people. LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and even Theory, Andrade or Santos. It's long overdue. I think LA Knight's on the cusp. So hopefully he stays there. If he can stay in the main event scene after his feud with Seth Rollins, then I think he's got a shot. Damian Priest was there, but he seems to have come down a notch. I think Damian Priest, I know heel turn is like the end-all be-all. Everybody's just like, heel turn him, but Damian Priest should have benefited from a heel turn. But who knows, maybe Aleister Black is the heel of that feud, and Aleister Black is the one that rises up. And then let's do a final question. One final question. I asked this yesterday. Ask me a question and we'll end Hot Takes with it. Jimbo Slice asked, what's one wrestling match you would show someone who doesn't watch wrestling to sway them into being a fan, and why? Ooh, that's tough. That is tough. It would depend on the person. That's straight up. Depend on the person. If I was going to do something more recent, it would probably be, I'm going to have a couple matches. I'm going to do 3 matches, right? Depending on the person. So first one, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. That was a great match. And we're not showing any of the build-up to it because the build-up kind of was lame, but the match itself was amazing. Just non-stop. It wasn't the typical triple threat where you have 2 people fighting with one on the outside just waiting to come in. No, it just kept going and going and going. And then you got just, you know, a diverse group of characters right there. You know, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, just star power. I think also Chad Gable versus Penta. I think that was a very exciting and well done match. I could definitely see it. You know what? No, I'm not doing that. I'm actually going to do Chad Gable versus Gunther when Gunther made the daughter cry. I think that would show I want people to see people crying, children crying, and I just really enjoy that. Let me get my kids in here to prove it. No, oh God, please, I'm canceled. There you go, canceled. But no, for real, Chad Gable versus Gunther was a stellar match. You have Chad Gable, who's just amazing and freaking awesome, and Gunther, who's technical, and then you have the emotion of afterwards and seeing the kid cry. I think somebody would, a new person might, like, in that moment, they might be like, oh my God, we got to see this guy get beat up more. And maybe that would captivate them into watching more. Like, I can be like, you want to see what happens after? You want to see the next match? I'll show you the next match where, or I can show you the match where Gunther loses and how cool it is that he lost. So, like, that would be a match I'm trying to entice them. I'm trying to pull up their heartstrings and make them, they need to see more because the last thing they saw was a bad guy winning. And then let's do Hogan versus The Rock. Hogan versus The Rock. This is just like you want to talk star power right there. Like, is it a technical masterpiece? No, but to feel the energy of the crowd, definitely like puts this over the top. Like, it's like, oh my God, this is amazing and this is awesome. I think those are the three matches. Is there anything else? You know what? I'm going to add two more matches. And one of them is going to shock you. Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels. That is my actual personal favorite match. And kind of like the triple threat that I talked about, this is a near perfect match of just going at it. The only reason why I don't have it higher on my list is because it's a very long match, and I'm wondering if I could only show one person a match. I need to kind of give them a shorter match to entice them for more. So this could be like one of their first matches, like first 5, but like as a first match, I wonder if 25 to 30 minutes is too long of a match to show somebody. But like, that is my absolute favorite match. What a banger. But another good match, in fact, his only good match, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg at WrestleMania. I hate this. I hate saying this out loud, but that was actually a good match. And it was just so hard hitting. They spammed their moves over and over again, but like, it worked. It worked for them. And I legit thought that they were going to let Goldberg win. You legit thought that they could let Brock Lesnar win. You didn't know what was going to happen. You really didn't know what was going to happen. And it is like, for real, there's been only 2 times in my entire life that I've enjoyed Bill Goldberg. And this was one of them. And I would say that this is a very good match, a hard-hitting affair to show people, because it's like just ground and pound, move for move, just 2 big dudes kicking the crap out of each other, and it's like 7 minutes, 6 minutes. Doesn't overstay its welcome at all. I could see this also being a decent match to show people. Don't come at me and say that I like Bill Goldberg, all right? This was an anomaly. A broken clock is right twice a day, and this just happens to be Bill Goldberg's broken clock moment. God, I wish I would. Maybe I should edit that out. I don't know. I don't want. Oh, God, please. I hate that I said anything positive about Goldberg. Boys, girls, I'm just going to end it. Have a good day.